I am the Judas Resurrection.
There's an old children's game we used to play. You might have seen it in Breaking Bad, where Jesse tricks that meth head into digging holes all over in the yard. But the game we used to play, we'd be digging holes, saying if you dig far enough, you might find yourself in China. You could dig a hole to China. Oh, that sounds like a fallacy, like a farce, like a fucking joke that tricks kids into just doing shit in the backyard so you don't have to deal with them most of the day till they hit the water line, maybe a gas line, then you got a problem. You could dig a hole to China. At the same time, as an adult, I have been accused by people who just don't like the amount of traveling that I've done in my life, which I actually have done quite a bit. They get jealous or something, the same type of people that say you're not well rounded when they're stuck to just one fucking notion of how things should be. These people, they say, oh, what are you running away from? And I was like, I'm not running away from anything. I'm running to something. I want to see what's out there. And then one time it occurred to me that it was time for me to run away from something. I said, I gotta get out of here. And I was leaving the country. And pure legend, he was around at the time and he said to me, you go there, you should take notes. You should write a story about what you're doing and what you see. And I was like, okay. And I ran away and I ran away. It turned out that I had dug myself into a hole so deep that I found myself in China. How digging since I was a kid, trying to get there, dug myself into a hole so deep I had to just get the hell out of here. America, love it or leave it. I got the fuck out and came out in China. It's like, oh. And so there I am in China. I'm walking on a sacred pilgrimage. I'm walking mountains. I'm going through an experience as a regular guy that isn't one of these rich people taking a vacation in Beijing with sit down toilets. I'm not one of these missionary people who's taking their kids along. So not only will the people they try to save suffer, but their kids suffer too. Not one of those. I'm not one of the crazy people, believe it or not. I'm actually relatively logical and rational in my thought processes. Nothing without a reason. Just a regular guy trying to get by, stay out of trouble, make enough money to stick around as long as possible until it's time to go. So I got there. And I got a little notebook and I would write notes in it. And I would do a special thing. It's called reflections. I have them throughout the notes I was taking. And some years ago, I started transferring my memories and my notes into written form. I've got like 4 of these front to back, double line spaces so you can make revisions in between. And I'm typing it into a laptop right now. I've started doing this. Figure I might as well get some down so I can get some sort of advance on a book deal. Why not? I'm sitting here all day, every day, not doing anything. I might as well be making some money at it, right? And today I got to a point of a reflection. This is while I'm in China. This is from the forthcoming novel, China Winter. Don't steal my name, $30,000. Take any of my stuff. I'm going to charge you 30 grand and then you can have it. Generally, it might be 60 because I'm actually doing something with this. With the ideas I have that account for a $30,000 playlist video, it means that I'm not usually going to do anything with it. So you give me $30,000, you can take the idea. It's generally a good one, but this one I'm doing something with, so it's going to cost more. I said 60,000. We can just decide that behind the doors before we step into the courtroom. But this is one that's a reflection. It comes in times after I've had a situation. It might apply to the situation directly. Even if it doesn't, it means it's derivative of the situation. Something in that situation, the next step I took, I wrote a little reflection. Something made me think of it. I'm going to read it to you. This is a Judas reading. Get your cigarettes. Get your drink. I know this. The name of it on the YouTube video will be Ephemeral Destination. Ephemeral Destination. Ephemeral was originally meant in the dictionaries of old to be a 24-hour period, but the same way they change words around and metaphorize them, whatever they do. Ephemeral means something for a short-lived period nowadays, but short-lived destination. Reflection. An analogy of life. Traveling seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, years, decades, whole lives, infinities. Each increment of time can be perceived as a lifetime, constantly pushing forward to what we like to think of as a destination. But there are no destinations, merely way stations. We're not allowed to stay anywhere. We just stop a while for supplies, food, water, love, knowledge, and sometimes boredom, sometimes hatred. And then we leave again. We leave for some new place we wrongfully persist in calling a destination. Sometimes our destination is a place we just left, but then it is never the same, is it? It may be true that all cities are the same, that all villages are the same, but then we never are we? See you in St. Louis, Screwy. That's a Bugs Bunny quote. He's always digging holes. I dug one to China. And then while I was there, I asked the children, once I learned to speak the language better, I said, do you kids ever play a game where you could dig a hole and come out in America? And they do, because we're on opposite sides of the world. If you look where I was, you could dig straight through it and come up in the U.S., like near where I grew up. So I'm warning you, people, you gotta be nice. because I dug myself a hole so deep that I found myself in China. That means the pathway has been opened. These kids are going to find my tunnel. And next thing you know, there's going to be a war at the center of the earth. Journey to the center of the earth. We're trying to get to the other side, and you run into people going both directions. It becomes gridlock. And finally, you remember you hated these people because the news told you to. Um, Maybe dig yourself a better hole. Find your own path to this ephemeral destination. And, don't worry about the Chinese coming. MTV will get all the girls.